if you find something that's fallen off someone's car roof and don't hand it in, you could be found guilty of theft. Yes, the answer is true.
There you go. Suggests you were right, Natalie. It's not just roadkill, it's stuff as well. You can't nick it. Or if you find it, you're nicking it. Or something like that. We're into the last bit of this morning show. We're trying to find out what precious thing you left on your car roof before driving off. And Matt, Natalie and Steve's thoughts in just a sec. Yours to the usual number, 0207 173 5555. Now, I guess it's easy enough to do. You pop your handbag on the roof, you get distracted, you settle into the driver's seat without realising your mistake, and off you go. But few, if any of us, will have done what this pensioner in Essex did when he left his life savings, 80 grand, on the roof of his car and drove away in blissful ignorance. 80 grand, I kept thinking, why? Well, he didn't trust the banks. And so he kept his savings on him at all time. And the real sad thing is he never found any of the money, only the empty bag he kept the cash in. And then there was the copper. He got into hot water after leaving his taser on the roof of a patrol car last week. And then my favourite story, it's from across the pond, but the Washington Post reported how a 2-month-old baby, Marcus Abraham, was left in his baby carrier on the car roof by mum Maria Caldwell as she strapped 2 other kids into their seats, and she drove a quarter of a mile before the baby slid off the roof, but covered a further 5 miles before realising what she'd done and that baby Marcus was missing. He was fine, in case you wonder, which spoils the story somewhat, but there we go.
If it spoils the story, that he was fine. And he was dead.
Matt, have you ever left anything precious on the roof of a car?
Not precious, no, but I do leave things on the car all the time.
All the time?
All the time. Like, since having Isabel, like, there's something about having your hands full and a child, like, always coffee. Always coffee. Yeah. Like, I always leave my coffee cup on the roof and, like, at least probably once a week, drive off and it splatters down the back windscreen again. I've just gone, oh.
Have you ever done your phone?
Yes, I've done my phone. I've done my phone. I've done blankets. I've done, I've done everything. Yeah.
Have you actually...
I've drove off with the buggy next to the car loads of times. Like, I've forgotten to put it in the boot.
So
Isabel's in the car.
Okay,
Isabel's in the car. Shut the door. Quickly get into the driver's seat.
Drive off.
Drive off and forget that the buggy's still sitting there next to where the car was. You know, I'm dreadful.
You, Pinkers, what do you do?
Yeah, well, I can relate to the tea and coffee one. I mean, that's pretty standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone does a bit of... Just get in and go. We've got too much going on, too much going on. I've got an email here from Sian Hurt, who's emailed the show to say that her mum once left a complete Sunday roast dinner along with the plates, cheese sauce in a jug and gravy boat on the top of the car.
Why?
It fell into
Don't they have a table?
Yeah. It fell into the road as her dad pulled away from her grandparents' house. There was food and smashed china all over the road. Her parents had a huge row before her mum shouted, "Just leave it." Drove off and left it all there. And it still makes her giggle 35 years on.
Oh. Nice happy ending. Mr. First?
It's a good argument for having a convertible, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I've done coffee. I tend to be quite... I'm annoyingly vigilant about check. I'm a bit, a bit anal like that. And I had heard that my mum used to tell me a story, and it was similar to that one that we had from across the water, was that apparently Jimmy Stewart, when his first child, because he was slightly absent-minded, was that he left his child on the roof of the car and drove, and didn't drive home, but had started to drive and went. Yeah, he's left his baby on the roof. Somebody called Jennifer Tilling had left her cat on the roof, as emailed to say that she was on her way to drop the kids off at school and also to take the cat to the vet, but the cat was fine.
Yeah, exactly. Just hop off, wouldn't it? They're fine.
Well, I think it was in a basket. I think it's fair to assume it was in a basket.
Right.
Yeah.
I know a girl who left her dignity on the bonnet of a car.
She wasn't in EastEnders, was she?
I think you'll find she was under the dashboard, Steve. Let's throw it over to you, Kirsty.
OK, we have Richard first on line 3.
Richard, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew. How are you?
I'm very well. Have you left anything on the roof?
Well, I didn't actually leave anything. It's more a case I was going canoeing early one morning.
Right.
And I put my canoe on the roof, tied it onto the roof rack, went inside to grab something, jumped in the car, was driving along the road for about a quarter of a mile, and then I thought something was watching me, and I looked up through the sunroof, and it was my cat clinging onto the car. So she'd obviously jumped under the canoe when I nipped into the house to grab her.
And did you take the cat kayaking with you?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't, but I was stopping to get petrol, so I had to drive another quarter of a mile to the petrol garage, try and get out of the car before the cat did, fill up with petrol, and then drive home again.
God, literally a cat on a hot tin roof. I'm sorry.
You'd be desperate.
We could do calls. We could do calls all day long if we liked, and we could also move the autocue on to the next bit, which they're doing for me now, because it's all improvised, this.